I am pleased. I am pleased. I don't have anything to say. Of course, I'm talking about Alien Romulus, which was written and directed by Fede Alvarez. I think his name is pronounced Fede. But before we get into this review, you know what to do. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know when I drop the next reviews. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way. You guys are going to bury me. However, I have not seen any other Alien movie except, I think, both Alien versus Predator movies, and I saw Prometheus. And I actually saw Prometheus like last year. Brief little segue, then I'll get into my review. The reason that I haven't seen Alien is because I really, probably within the last 5 years or so, just got to where I'm like gung-ho for horror movies. I love movies in general, but horror has kind of been a standout over the last 5 years or so. So within that time frame, everything that I've seen, or most of what I've seen, has pretty much been newer releases or releases that were in whatever year we were in at the time. But a lot of the older stuff, I didn't watch a lot of horror when I was younger. I didn't really get to where I wasn't, and this is embarrassing, I didn't get to where I wasn't constantly afraid of that kind of stuff. I'm 35 now. Probably when I was maybe 25. So yeah, about 10 years is when I kind of started to test the water a little bit. And I don't know what changed from from like teenage years to that point. But ever since then, I'm horror everything. Like Halloween is my favorite day of the entire year. Forget my birthday, forget Christmas, all about Halloween. That's the only holiday that I decorate for. But anyway, back to the point. So because of that, I won't say that I didn't have a chance, right? But let's just say that Romulus is going to cause me to go back and watch them all in chronological order, like order of events. Now, I usually try to stay out of my phone when I'm doing reviews, but for this one, there's no possible way I would have remembered this. So this moment right here is for anybody who wants to try to watch all of the Alien films in order. Let me give you the chronological order, not the sequential order, but the chronological order. So first you want to start with Alien versus Predator. Then you would do Alien versus Predator Requiem. After that, you would do Prometheus and then Alien Covenant. Well, first, I'm sorry, let me go back and I'll give you guys the years so it kind of makes sense. So Alien versus Predator and Requiem, I think they're both set in 2004. Then Prometheus is set in 2089. Alien Covenant is 2104. Then we finally get to the original Alien, which is 2122. And then the one that just came out, Romulus, is in 2142. And then Aliens, of course, part 2, that's 2179. And then Alien 3 is right after that. It doesn't say the year, though. I'm not sure if it says right after that. So maybe 2180. I'm not sure. And then 200 years later, there's Alien Resurrection, which is 2379. So that's the chronological order to watch all of the movies in, as far as which events took place first and then last. Alien Romulus is the story of a group of teenage plant workers. They look like teenagers. They might be early 20s, but they really look like teenagers. It seems to me like they were not really like working slaves, but there was a bit of freedom, but they just worked for this cool company here. I actually got this at the theater. But anyway, they worked for that company, and it seems like the company really has its foot on their necks. Like, they cannot leave on their own. They have to work out these long, ridiculous stretches of tenure It seems like, I don't know if they agreed to it or what. Of course, it didn't go into that kind of detail. But anyway, long story short, one of those teens finds out that there is an abandoned spacecraft just floating above the planet that they're on, like out in the orbit of the planet that they're on. And they want to go to a new place that I guess is free, where they won't have to work their lives away. However, the journey to that planet would take them 9 years. And in order to make that journey, they have to go to the abandoned ship, which is called Romulus and Remus. They have to go to that abandoned ship, and they want to extract some cryopods that are on that ship. I'm pretty sure everyone knows what cryopods are, but just in case you don't, you know those movies we see where people are traveling 200 years in space? They freeze themselves in a cryo sleep or cryostasis or whatever, where they lower their body temperature. They're not dead, but they're just essentially frozen, and that's how they can travel these long spans of time without food or water or whatever. So they needed these cryopods so that they could make the journey. Of course, they get on the ship, and they're not alone. That's that. As far as how I feel about the film, I loved it. Again, I didn't see any of the true Alien films, and I say that way because from my research, nobody respects Alien versus Predator, either one of those. That one or Requiem, no one respects those films. But knowing what I know, like as a fresh fan just now getting into the Alien saga, I'm pleased. This movie was cool as hell. Man, jump scares everywhere. I'm so pleased. I really don't even have a lot to say because it was so amazing. Most of the cool stuff in the film I can't tell because it's spoilers. I had a couple of gripes based on, I don't want to call it continuity, I would say realism, but I mean realism in the sense of what's real in the film, right? Because it is fiction, you know what I mean? So we know that it's not real, but I mean, if it was real, even if it was real, some of this doesn't make sense. Some of the warnings that were given, and then right after those warnings, something happens that left me like, wait a minute, didn't you just say that if this happens, that will happen? So why didn't this happen? It was questions like that I had, but overall, it was amazing. I mean, aliens are these aliens. They're supposed to be the perfect species, right? The most perfect organism in the universe is what Alien is supposed to be. And it lives up to the hype. There's one character in the film. So I'll say this way. Whenever there's a film and there's a group of people, anywhere between 3, 5 or so people, there's always going to be that one person that it's like they put that person there for you to hate them. Either that person dies first and dies very bad, or their arc changes in a way that makes you not hate them as much by the end of the movie. This one guy in this film was such a douche that I was angry for a quarter of the film because he was so irritating. It was just like one of those people that you would expect other decent humans not to be around, but they seemed like they were so cool with that dude. I hated that dude so much. But other than that, this movie was fantastic. The stars of this film are Cailee Spaeny, Archie Renaux, and David Jonsson. Cailee Spaeny, I remember her most recently from Civil War. And Archie Renaux, his character, he was in a show that I watched on Apple TV called His Dark Materials. He was pretty good there, but I haven't seen him in anything else. David Jonsson, I can't recall ever seeing him in anything, but I would like to see him a lot more. He really gave me Damson Idris vibes in this film. Not as far as the swag, but he actually kind of favors him a little bit. David Johnson's character was essentially the adoptive brother of Cailee Spaony's character. And Archie Renaux was her actual brother in the film. The dynamic between the three of them, it was fantastic. Their chemistry was great. It was very believable. David Jonsson plays this. You know what? No, I won't. I won't say that because that's. I would say that's kind of spoilerish. But David Jonsson did great. I would really love to see more of him. Like I said, I haven't seen him in anything. I really would like to see more of him in future films. This movie for me was really a crazy, wild ride. I don't have any complaints other than a couple of little things that I mentioned. But definitely go check out Alien Romulus if you haven't seen any of the other ones like me. Of course, you know, some of the Easter eggs and the callbacks and things like that, they're going to go over your heads the same way they did mine. However, it's okay, right? It's never too late because we can always go back and binge all the other ones, which is what I intend to do. Every Halloween, I do like a super binge of a horror series. Last year, I did every Jason and, well, every Friday the 13th and every Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Pretty much I would do one and then the other until I finished them all. I want to say that was about somewhere between 16 and 18 movies. So this year, I'm definitely going to watch every single Alien movie, and I'm thinking about doing all the Michael Myers movies as well, the Halloween movies, if I have time. So definitely jump down in the comments. Let me know, have you seen this film? Do you intend to see this film? Have you seen the other Alien movies? Where do you think this one stacks up to the others? And also, make sure you like and share and hit that notification bell so you know when I drop the next reviews. See you at the next one.